Today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Come on, we talking about the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. They safe, they are secure, and just like the homie Deke, they are reliable. But with that being the case, we also know that, man, you got to know why you want to use it. Well, why? Well, because you can get some parlay going on, man. Whether you're talking same game parlays or if you want to add multiple games into the mix, you got plenty of options, especially with the playoffs. The NFL playoffs continuing to get closer and closer to the big game, man. So with that being the case, for all of my first-time users out there, when you download the app, make sure when you make that first deposit bonus of $5, use the promo code MOAT so that way you'll receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. All right, the promo code MOAT. You heard me say it twice, so you know it's important. But with that being the case, man, that'll give you a chance to potentially get back into the game, and we'll see what it does from there with your picks. But more importantly, man, I can also understand that you can get lost in the sauce. Might develop a gambling problem, or you might just need some help. And if you're living in New York, it's a number that you can text. Shout out to the New Yorkers, baby. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER.
J. Cola, if we sign Fields, when will it likely get done?
Right before free agency starts in March. I don't see for either side. Well, obviously for Fields, he could want to get the deal done sooner. But for the Steelers side, if you're seeing what free agency looks like, if you're trying to see who potentially gets released late in the free agency process, if you're looking at draft prospects, undrafted types as well, it's not an incentive for you to sign Fields today. It's not an incentive to sign him in February. You want to get as much information as you can. You want to see what the quarterback market truly looks like, whether you're talking trade, free agency, or draft. And the only way you can do that is by giving it time. So I don't see it happening before free agency starts, like right before March, like that time frame, because they won't have. I mean, you got to think combine is next month, right? That's February time frame. You know what I mean? Like you want to go and really see what's out there. You see what I mean? Like yeah. Whereas if you go ahead and sign Fields now, or you sign Russ, say it's Russ they decide on, you sign him now, man, what if, like you said, Rodgers is available in a couple weeks and you're like, yo, that actually does make sense. And
he's
you know
Devontae is
like
coming, he's taking it cheap.
You see what I mean? Like, and that's just a name we throw out as an example, but it's multiple. It's like you just don't know, so you don't want to rush to make that decision. We say right now,
Falcons cut Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Obviously, I don't want anything to do with that, but it's just the quarterback landscape. Right. You want to see what all the options are.
And if Kirk is like, man, I'm taking 15 because I just got 100. It's like, yo, who knows? Like, we just don't know. Like, across the board. But I think you make quick decisions on head coaches right now. You make that decision on, yo, who is the guy that I'm going into the whole offseason with now? In terms of the re-signings, the contract extensions, you wait on that until March. And then obviously for contract extensions, that's training camp time frame, because you don't have to be in a hurry to make a decision before you get all the variables. Like, allow some of that information to come out there, because sometimes it's good stuff that happens, man. You think about how late we got Joe Hayden, man. Now, granted, that the timing of it was a little bit different, but it's like, man, imagine if whoever it was at that time, we said, man, we're signing this guy in January. We don't even care about it. Yo, we don't have that money come August. You know, so I just think of little things like that across the board, man. Like, I still would want us to make that decision soon, but yeah, I just don't see it happening before March, man.
No. I'm definitely open to bringing in Rodgers the more I think of it. Like, if it is like a $20, $25 million deal with Rodgers, bringing a Devontae Adams, brings just some pop, some juice back to this team, this offense. Like, it's Aaron Rodgers, man. And it's not like the whole aging quarterback going to a new spot and having a revival has been done before. Like we saw with Brett Favre, saw with Brady going from Patriots. Everyone thought Brady was washed final year with the Patriots, but then he went to a team that actually had some pieces around him, had some good things going. Rodgers will be an extra year removed from that Achilles. Still had 28 touchdowns, 11 picks this year, and people are saying it's a bad year. I get it. It comes with some. It comes with some stuff. It comes with some trade-offs.
You said it comes with some stuff, Deke.
Potentially, yeah. It comes with some potential distractions and all that. But like, man, if you can get some vintage Aaron Rodgers on a decent deal, sign a T. Higgins, a Devontae Adams, something like that. You mean to tell me we couldn't be set up for success in 2025? Maybe even the following year too, depending if Rodgers can stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Obviously, he takes care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, take a chance, take a risk. It goes back to what I was saying with Derrick Henry last year. Come on, bro. That's Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take a swing, take a chance. Yeah. Like, that's what teams like the Eagles do. That's what teams like the Rams do. A bunch of these other teams that are still playing either this week or going into next week. Sometimes we play it too safe. If Aaron Rodgers is available for $20 million, but sometimes it's just like, bro, let's take this swing.
Yeah.
Let's take this chance.
I mean, in a way, that's what they did with Russ last year. It was just a cheaper one.
Cheaper, and Russ ain't Aaron Rodgers. That's the other thing. It's just he's
I
not
know how
Aaron
you
Rodgers.
feel about Aaron Rodgers, man. You know we don't always see eye to eye with Aaron Rodgers, man.
He's an all timer, man. He's an all timer. Like I said, on a down year, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. Now you should be winning more than what you did for sure, but in terms of having every option available to an offense, he can give you that with the type of passes that he can make. Because people with Russ are complaining he's a little shorter. What happened to the passes over the middle of the field, down the stretch? With Rodgers, he can make everything. He could do everything. So I'm open to it.
How long would you have him, though?
I'm just saying, I'm open to it, man. I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open to anything right now. Actually not open to anything. I'm open to anything that, in my opinion, gets us elite quarterback play for next year.
You feel like Rodgers gonna give you elite quarterback play, man?
Yeah, I think he could. No, I think he could. All I want is the chance. I think he can give us that chance. I think Fields could give us that chance. I think trading for like a Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, someone of that ilk could give us that chance too. Outside of that, I don't know.
And we're not saying 1 game sample size. We're saying for the full 17 plus postseason, correct?
I just want a chance. Yeah.
All right.
Those guys can give me that chance, I think. I'm out on Russ. No Kirk Cousins. Sam Darnold, it was cute. It was a good run with the Vikings. No, your run's done.
Respect.
I can't think of anyone else that's like legitimately available that would give us that hope of elite quarterback play next year, because that's what we need. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to be dancing around the subject and just being cool with being relevant. Give me elite QB play. Am I missing anyone?
That's available. No, unless you want to throw Jameis Winston in there. I was just saying how you felt about Jameis. Is Jacoby Brissett, you would throw him in there? Just say, I throw him out there.
This is like the running back conversation. I'll give you names. You're just giving me names now. But
would you trade for Joe Milton? Since Drake May is up there in New England, I just figured I'd throw him out there too. Trey Lance, that's potentially named. Because we don't want Dak. I don't. Not for the 60.
See, like a Trey Lance or an Anthony Richardson, they got the upside, but they don't have the floor that Justin Fields has. They haven't shown me what Justin Fields has this year.
Yeah,
so
that's definitely real.
I'm just rocking with Fields then. If you're talking about like upside guy,
trying to think of Jimmy G.
Come on,
I was throw a name out there. I'm just throwing names.
Is there a name or two that you would throw in that I didn't have?
No, you got my A list. You already know you named my names. I was like, hey, man. I lean heavily on proven.
No, what do you think though? Is there a guy that I'm discrediting that you would throw like they could give us an elite season?
So let me answer it this way. Because I don't think any of the guys that you named or that I'm going to name are going to give us an elite season. But I think if we add the correct pieces around them, they can give us elite moments. I think you throw Rodgers in there. I think you throw Russ in there. I think you throw Kirk in there. I think Phil's in there as well, if you're saying elite moments. But once again, you rolled your eyes as if, oh, it's Kirk. We're talking about over a 17-game sample size. Look at your boy Aaron Rodgers, man. A 17-game sample size. It's like, yo, you brought a lot of pieces in there.
Rodgers.
That's fine. You brought a lot of pieces in there, and most people got fired out of that thing, man. And we looking at the Jets like, are y'all better or worse than when you made the decision to bring in Rodgers?
That might be a Jets. We don't know exactly what was going behind the scenes there. You think that was all Rodgers taking them all out?
I think that Rodgers was heavily a part of it, yes. So when I think of that,
I don't know.
I think that I think if you're asking him to be Superman, I think you're going to feel the same way we felt about Russ down the stretch. Hey, bro, we need more. But I think if you put pieces around him, I think you put pieces around Russ. I think if you put pieces around Kirk, I think their floors are definitely high, and they will be able to do what we need them to do. The problem with Kirk and the problem with Rodgers is contract-wise, they don't take cheap deals. Kirk bend you over backwards the way he be getting these, checks. So I'm like, I don't want to do that because we saw the type of deal he's getting. So if you trade for that, you don't trade for him as a free agent. You traded for that deal that we just saw Atlanta take. That's why everybody's like, hey, Atlanta, no wonder y'all said y'all can keep him as the backup. Because who you trade him to? Would you trade for Kirk Cousins in that contract right now?
No.
I'm a Kirk Cousins guy, and I definitely wouldn't do it. So you knock him off the list already. Now it's Aaron Rodgers convo, and now it's what number are you going to take? If you're taking 20, I'm way more interested in that convo, and I put him above Russ and Fields just like you. But that's if he's taking 20. Because I know I got to deal with all the other stuff that comes with you, and there's no guarantee that you're going to take 20. So now I'm looking at you, and I'm like,
maybe 25.
You see what I mean? So now I'm like,
that was the Brady deal with the Bucks. It was like 25. Him and Breeze on the back end, so that's why it could make sense for Rodgers. Depends on how much he wants to play too.
But you see, there's a lot of variables surrounding him, so it makes me already like, if I'm already skittish on Rodgers, now I'm looking at it as like, yo, I got even more stuff I'm just having to weigh. So the money becomes even more prevalent. It's like, yo, the more I got to consider this stuff, the more I want that number to be a little bit lower.
Absolutely.
Now from there, it's like, okay, Russ, exact same convo. Russ, you gave me some glimpses, you gave me a couple of flashes, but as a whole, I can't win unless I get more pieces around you. If I need to put more pieces around you, heck, I got to put more pieces around Fields as well. Difference between you and Fields is younger, Fields should be cheaper. But if Fields isn't cheaper, now it's a different convo. That's the whole, all right, if Russ is willing to take 5, Russ going to take 10. Like when we joked with 7 that last year, and we're like, yo, if Ben is coming back and he's taking this amount of money, how do you move on from him? But if he's not and he's going to take 20 or any of these other numbers, you can't build enough pieces. You can't put enough pieces around him at that point, or at least that's how the team felt, right? Now, we know not everybody felt that way, but the team felt that way. So that's the thing when I look at these quarterbacks, I feel like any of these guys we're going to name, Sam Darnold, he benefited because he had great pieces around him. You're talking about bringing him away from a Justin Jefferson, a Jordan Anderson, a Aaron Jones, and a Kevin O'Connell, and we're going to say pay you more, take less, and give us better. I think he's getting set up. Somebody's going to do it, though.
I already told you.
Somebody's going to do
Sam
it.
Darnold's
but
off my list.
To me, that's a setup.
I don't want him on my list.
I'm like, but if you're saying Sam Darnold for $20 million, I'm like, even that's a little high because up in Minnesota, he's getting 10.
Maybe it's just I think we got Fields in our back pocket. Like that, like a 20 to Sam Darnold. I'm just thinking versus Fields to like 10.
Well, though.
I'll rock with Fields over that.
But this is the thing. It's like I feel like Fields is still the Sam Darnold year away. I at least got to see Sam Darnold, regardless of the variable, the piece that he had with him. Yo, you still have to drive the car, and that's the one part. Even when I would look at like Dak early on, it's like, yo, you got these receivers, the running game. It's like you still got to drive it though. You still have to operate it. So yes, you got all this added stuff for you, but you still got to show that you know what you're doing. And Sam Darnold this year still did show, I can make good decisions. I can hit tight window throws. I can anticipate. I can lead. And that's why he will get a check. But what the expectations are going to be now following that, I think puts him back, where it gets back.
Yeah, so like for me,
I'm
thinking like that's the best I've seen from Sam Darnold. I don't think we've gotten close to what the best could be from Justin Fields. Right. So I'm taking that chance with Fields.
Right, and I think I can definitely understand that. I think just from the Steelers side, their whole argument is, man, what does it look like and how long do I have to wait to see that? Whereas at least with Darnold, we at least saw that right now.
This is my point with Fields. The beauty with Fields is those 6 games. We saw we could win with them. We saw we could go 4-2 and he could play winning football. So what could it look like if we get more development from him and he starts hitting the ceiling? We could have one of these crazy-ass offenses we're seeing. Yeah. With the legs that he's got, the arm that he's got, just all the overall talent. But yeah, he's ultimately he's got to get that. Yeah. He's got to get there.
And percentages wise, it's more than likely that he won't than he will, based off of just quarterbacks in the NFL. Now we hope that it's different for him and he's an outlier in that, but just statistically, the odds are that he is not gonna develop into that. Then he will develop into that. But I'm hoping that he's the outlier.
Well, and that's why too. If this is why I think Rodgers should be a legit option if he's available, which I heard Dulac say that Steelers aren't even considering Rodgers. Like, he's not coming here. It's
he's
like
a lot, bro. Like, it's different than just skill.
like
Like,
we shouldn't
you
we
gotta
shouldn't
wanna
just
work
throw
with
that
this
aside
dude.
though.
Deke, have you ever had to work with somebody that you just genuinely aren't gonna like? You just don't like this
It
person.
seems like
yo,
Rodgers and
bump.
Tomlin like each other though.
They
based
might,
off some of
but
the
it
sideline
seems like internally it'd be some tension.
We won't bring Mike Williams back. We won't have to worry about that. Fresh slate.
I'm gonna say this seems like a lot of tension, bro. That's all. It just seems like where he be at. Like
We're not bringing in
Lazard.
Lazard. The only guy that I want from the Rodgers camp is Devontae Adams. We're not bringing in Lazard or Randall Cobb.
But now if he's the one that's disgruntled because you ain't bring his guys in, now he's
gonna be. He needs to be happy with a job for next year.
But no, you can't tell Aaron Rodgers he needs to be happy with a job.
He
It's
does,
Aaron
'cause
Rodgers.
He's
You see what I'm saying?
he's about to run himself out of the league here with
But
some
see,
of the distractions.
You're having that approach of like, yo, you need this.
He does.
Rodgers looking at it like you need me. That's the difference in it,
We
man.
might need both.
Rodgers the guy that's gonna let you know that though.
We'll see.
That's the dangerous part. That's you see how AB got when AB would let you know, like, hey bro, I'm me. Like y'all better. My man took his clothes off on the field. Was like, hey bro, y'all think you can do it? I'll be all right here. Bump it then. He's like that, man.
Going back to what you're saying with Fields, though, that's why Rodgers should be an option, in my opinion. Because if you're gonna ask me who's most likely to be an elite quarterback in 2025, Aaron Rodgers or Justin Fields,
It's Rodgers.
it's Rodgers. Yeah, he's the way more likely guy to do that.
Not even a debate, and nobody would be surprised by it.
No, I would not. If you meant to tell me Rodgers goes to the Steelers, Rodgers goes to X team and becomes a top 10 quarterback again next year, maybe he's top 7, top 6 quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No,
It's Aaron Rodgers.
No. You notice what the think about the bet makers, right? Vegas, right? They pick games. That's what they do for a living. You notice how everything shifted in the Jets' favor when Rodgers got there because he is that type of dude. He moves the needle. He is that. It's just he has a lot. His baggage isn't the baggage like, all right, he has injuries all the time. No, his baggage is, he could ruffle some feathers internally because he feels strongly about his craft and he is very gifted at his craft. So that's why it makes sense for him to be, as confident in it. But it's just the way that he projects it. Sometimes it ruffles feathers. And we've seen that in multiple spots.
I'm sure we can get him that number 8, right? I'm sure we could.
I thought they retired that thing, man.
Well, Corliss Waitman's got it, but I'm sure he could make that available.
Hey,
we don't even know if he's going to be back to begin with.
This is also true.
8 would be available.
Yeah.
12 is not available. I'm sorry, it's not available. Not available.
Okay.
So he could do the whole
Okay.
8 college number thing that he did with the Jets here. I'd be for it, man. I would be. Fields, Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence. That's it.